The seemingly wholesome, cutesy, colourful blob, total wipeout style game is certainly a solid go-to for anyone looking to keep themselves entertained for a few hours, or as a friendship ending match with your strange but warm and homely internet friend group. There's literally no need to overanalyze this game. It can just be played for what it is, as initially intended by its creators. We are, however, here, so obviously the internet could not just let Fall Guys exist. We had to dig deeper and, oh boy, do we regret it. The Fall Guys team has admitted they didn't set out with any real lore for the game, but have had to rather think on their feet. Stick a pin in that one. Not too long after the game's release, as it weirdly often does, the topic of how tall are the Fall Guys started to pop up on social media. Fans were soon presented with an answer from the game's Twitter account, and a few eyebrows were raised, to say the least. Fall Guys are 1.83 meters tall. That's the tweet. That's 6 foot for those of you feet people out there. So, a Fall Guy is taller than me. Okay, maybe less the cute little Despicable Me minion creatures I'd imagined, and more nightmarish. The issue now was that fans had a taste of intrigue. They were bursting with questions and left unsatisfied with the absolute bombshell they had just been thrown. What of their anatomy? Favourite foods? Their blood type? This led the Fall Guys team to have a bit more fun and come out with the following tweet. Prepare yourselves. Well, you asked for it. This is official lore now. Remember, humans shown for scale, Fall Guys are 183 centimeters, 6 foot. This Fall Guy is happy. Look into his eyes. We can't take it back. Players were very disturbed, and rightfully so. The eye cords. Even brands wanted nothing to do with the abomination. Nice one, Fall Guys. Now, upon the release of the X-Ray Fall Guys art, fans had now noticed that the creatures were actually lacking something pretty vital. Mouths. Ever curious and still not knowing when to back off for their own mental safety, players speculated that Fall Guys must eat through their eyes or something. I mean, it wouldn't be surprising, I guess. Don't worry, the game's community director, Oliver, aged 24, had this one covered in a Discord message stating that they absorb things through their feet. The official Twitter account later followed up with this. I was hoping this lore would catch on, but it never did. I wonder why. So, now that players have been almost satisfactorily disturbed by the reality of their squishy jelly bean blob's physicality, attention naturally turned to the environment in which they compete. In an interview with The Gamer, designer Joe Walsh presented an explanation. It's all set dressing. Fall Guys live to compete and do so 24/7. They're either competing or waiting to go again. Everything else you see is a tawdry bit of fabric covering our criminal lack of world building. I like to think that their broadcast is going out across the universe for anyone to stumble across if they manage to find the frequency. Anyone can find Fall Guys TV if they twiddle the dial enough. Dials being a thing that TVs still definitely have. Joe also went on to enlighten us with the fact that the cheering you hear when you're playing Fall Guys is pumped into the world to create more atmosphere for the viewers. I guess it's hard to hear when your mouth is shoved into the floor. Now, some were a little concerned that their Fall Guy was dying after falling off a map. There was some concern it was just a doppelganger with your customizations added that you received every time you went to start a new game. However, Walsh cleared this theory in the same interview, stating that they feel a moment of displacement, serenity, zen-like detachment from all worldly and physical bonds. They then pop back onto the podium to celebrate their achievements. What you're seeing when you respawn is the same Fall Guy, so the more you play, the more you've been through together. You've put that Fall Guy through a lot, you know. I think mine might hate me. Fall Guys do, however, live to compete and simply have to fill the void when not actively in competition. Don't worry, it's also been clarified that Fall Guys are totally nude unless you equip them with clothing. Walsh continues on to say that, I can confirm, they're naked. When you don't equip a top or a bottom, luckily they can't feel the cold or be embarrassed on live TV, so we've decided to embrace it. Well, thank God for that. I'll never look at a game in the same way. In fact, I best go cover my guy up. And just like that, back to anatomy. Ever thought it's a bit odd that there's so many eggs in Fall Guys? Well, let's just clear that up for you with this tweet. Fall Guys lay eggs, FYI. Xbox rightfully weren't too impressed with this one either. So does this mean they've been throwing their own unborn offspring around this whole time? Well, that leads us to our next point. Are the Fall Guys aware of what's happening? It's been speculated that some Fall Guys appear to be more sentient than others. We see some recurring characters in the games outside of matches after all. This has led to speculation that the competitors have been brainwashed for our entertainment, with little clue as to what's actually going on. This might explain why they're not fazed by throwing around their own eggs and are content with living to compete and nothing else. If all of the species did live to compete, then wouldn't those outside the arena working on running the games feel deeply unhappy? One remark from the Joe Walsh interview with The Gamer that I feel the need to bring up is his answer to the question, all guys can pick each other up, and as they're as tall as a human, could they tear a human in half? To which he replied, if you were standing between it and a crown, potentially. It wouldn't want to though. It's like hippos and water. You never want to get in their way like that. Also, did you know a hippo can outrun a human? I think about that a lot. I think it's time to leave it there. What's your favourite game in the Fall Guys universe? Are you useless like me with 0 crowns? Let us know and make me feel better in the comments. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. If you did, please consider dropping a like / subscribe down below because it would really help me out and I would love to see you again in the next video. But until then, goodbye for now.